What if I told you that nearly 40% of people will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life? That sounds terrifying. And for a long time, we believed cancer was mostly about bad genetics and bad luck. But here's the part most people don't hear. Up to 40% of cancers are actually preventable. You can't change the genes you're born with, but you can influence how those genes behave. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is through the food you eat every single day. Because cancer is not just a genetic disease, it's also a metabolic disease and an immune system disease. And many of the foods we consider normal, even healthy, quietly create the exact environment cancer needs to grow. In this video, I'm going to explain how certain foods feed cancer cells, why it happens, and give you a simple framework to avoid them without fear, guilt, or extreme dieting. Let's start with the foundation. Cancer begins when a normal cell becomes abnormal. This happens all the time. Mutations are part of being human. But most of the time, your body repairs the damage or your immune system destroys the abnormal cell. Cancer only develops when several things go wrong at the same time. For cancer cells to survive and spread, they need four key conditions. First, they need fuel, and their favorite fuel is glucose. Second, they need growth signals, especially hormones like insulin and IGF-1. Third, they need inflammation, which weakens immune defenses and breaks down barriers. And finally, they need a blood supply created through a process called angiogenesis. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many modern foods directly support every one of these steps. But the good news is this works both ways. Food can either feed cancer or help fight it. Let's talk about one of the most powerful and least talked about carcinogens in the food supply, aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are toxins produced by certain molds that grow on grains, corn, and nuts in warm, humid environments. The biggest sources, peanuts and some tree nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. Now, this is important. Nuts are not bad foods. The issue is storage, sourcing, and contamination. If nuts or grains are grown or stored in human conditions, mold can develop, and aflatoxins are strongly linked to liver cancer. This risk can also show up indirectly. Peanut butter or nut butters may be made from lower grade nuts that didn't pass visual inspection. Even dairy isn't immune. Animals that consume mold-contaminated feed can pass a form of aflatoxin into milk. The takeaway isn't fear, it's awareness. Choose reputable brands, avoid old or discolored nuts. Store them properly and pay attention to freshness. Next, let's talk about sugar. Cancer cells are addicted to sugar. To understand why, imagine your body as trillions of tiny engines. Healthy cells burn fuel efficiently using oxygen. Cancer cells don't. They're broken engines. They burn fuel inefficiently and need a constant supply of glucose just to survive. This is known as the Warburg effect, where cancer cells prefer fast sugar burning even when oxygen is available. When you eat foods that spike blood sugar, like refined carbs, sweets, soda, and processed foods, the dangerous things happen. First, you feed cancer cells their favorite fuel. Second, your body releases insulin and IGF-1, which send powerful growth signals. So now cancer cells get fuel and a signal to divide faster. Some cancer cells, especially breast cancer cells, have many more insulin receptors than normal cells. And excess sugar doesn't stop there. It increases chronic inflammation. Inflammation damages DNA, and inflammation weakens the immune system, your first line of defense against cancer. This is why sugar reduction isn't about willpower or weight loss. It's about changing the internal environment. The goal isn't zero carbs. It's choosing low glycemic, high fiber foods like vegetables, beans, berries, and whole grains, and if you drink soda regularly. That's the easiest win you can make today. Now, let's talk about meat. Because this topic is often misunderstood, you've probably heard headlines claiming red meat causes cancer. The science isn't that simple. Most studies showing a link between red or processed meat and cancer are observational. They show association, not direct causation. People who eat more processed meat may also smoke more, Exercise less or eat fewer fruits and vegetables. However, there are plausible mechanisms worth paying attention to. Processed meats often contain nitrites, which can convert into carcinogenic compounds in the stomach. High-temperature cooking like grilling or frying can produce chemicals that damage DNA. But here's the bigger picture. When diets are heavy in meat, they're often low in fiber, and fiber is one of the strongest protective factors we know. Higher fiber intake is associated with lower cancer risk and lower cancer-related death. So this isn't about eliminating meat. It's about balance and making fiber-rich foods the foundation of your plate, finally. Let's talk about alcohol. Alcohol is a confirmed carcinogen. It's been classified as such for decades. Alcohol damages DNA directly through a toxic byproduct called acetaldehyde. It interferes with DNA repair, it causes vitamin deficiencies, and it increases absorption of other carcinogens. Even moderate intake is linked to increased risk of several cancers, including breast and colorectal cancer. This doesn't mean fear or shame. It means informed choice. Cancer prevention isn't about perfection. It's about stacking small advantages in your favor. This isn't a complete list. But if there's one takeaway, it's this: cancer thrives in environments of excess sugar, chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and weakened immunity. And food plays a powerful role in shaping that environment. You don't need extreme diets. You need better defaults. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments what topic you want covered next. Take care of your body. It's working hard to protect you every single day.